As you can see in the title, we're going to be talking about sports today, and two men in specifics. We'll be talking about the general manager of the Baltimore Orioles. I haven't talked baseball yet on this channel. I'll be talking baseball today, and of course, the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers, Rob Pelinka. I don't really have a script. I'm just kind of gonna go off the dome because I'm kind of like, I just want to, I just want to talk sports real quick. I've been a Orioles fan my whole life. Baseball was the first sport I followed. Baseball and football I followed my whole life. I started following basketball more recently because of the Luka Doncic trade. Luka Doncic is my one of my favorite players. I have three favorite players, and they're all on the Lakers. Currently, they're all on the Lakers as of the 30th of June. That's going to change though, which I'll get into in a second. I'm going to be discussing two GMs and just talking some sports today, just kind of like podcast talk. And the first man I'm going to start with is Mike Elias. The first man I'm going to talk about is Mike Elias. Now, I have followed this team ever since I was a kid. Um, I am kind of on the younger side. So my first real memories with this team are like probably the 2016 season, I would say. And I'm gonna be talking about Mike Elias. Now, my thoughts on Rob Pelinka are a little more like nuanced, a little more complex. I just straight up hate Mike Elias. I don't know how he stuck around after last season and how he failed this team so poorly, how he failed to build and develop a roster, and the constant mistakes he made on how he took an 100-win team and ran it into the ground is like so insanely poor by the management. And we brought in this new owner, Mr. David Rubenstein, and I was excited because our former owners were like they were all feuding and stuff, and like it just wasn't a good scene. And I mean, we were in the trash back then. We were not good. And then it was like this was the peak optimism right here. Was when like Rubenstein took over, and when we first got those that entry into the playoffs, and then he came in, and we made a move that I'm gonna remember. And I just was so optimistic going forward. Rubenstein came in, and so did Corbin Burns. I remember I was so happy with this move. I was so excited that we brought in like a real ace in our rotation. 'Cause at the time, we didn't really have much in our rotation. We had like Kramer and like Bradish was absolutely solid. We had we had Kyle Gibson. Um, and then we went and we brought in Burns and we brought in Burns. We had Albert Suarez. We had Kate Povich coming to the team. Zach Eflin, who we traded for at the deadline. We had like some move. We were doing stuff and it was exciting. And we had this young team and it was good. And I remember Mike Elias was so like I was so happy with the general management of Mike Elias and the job he did. Uh, and we like I'll circle back. Let me start all the way back in like 2016 when I first remember this Orioles team and like who they were as a team. Joe Walter was the manager of Boston Pass. We had Machado, we had Zach Britton, Kevin Godwin, Scope, Tillman, Chris Davis was good. I think JJ Hardy. Yeah. Was Trumbo here? Yeah, there's Trumbo. Adam Jones, who I still love to this day. And is some of like the earliest Orioles I remember. And we went into extras with the Blue Jays and We lost on a walk off. I mean, we lost in the 11th, and it was just so like devastating. I believe it was Ubaldo Jimenez who came in and messed it all up. And yeah, it was. I mean, we had pitchers like Brad Brock and Darren O'Day and Michael Gibbons. And I believe Zach Britton was still on this team. I don't think we would have traded him to the Yankees mid playoff run or mid wild card run. And we lost. And it just went downhill from there. And we just started like trading guys and we just lost so many pieces of that team. Like shoot, I'm really trying to jog my memory. Yeah, we lost a lot of guys and the bullpen been a lot worse. I mean, it just wasn't that good. We fired Dan Duquette after going 47 and 115. We were awful. We also fired Buck Showalter, brought in Brandon Hyde from the Cubs, Mike Elias from the Astros. Because, I mean, you bring in somebody from the Astros, you expect they're going to be good. And we were still bad. We were tanking, but we had all these bright prospects. In 2019, we drafted Adley Rutschman. I'm going to act like Bobby Witt didn't go immediately after him. Adley Rutschman's still been solid despite being a little bit disappointing. We got Adley. I believe we also drafted Gunnar Henderson in this draft, and it was a really good draft. And Kyle Stowers was here, who I'll get into in another second because that just reminded me of another thing. Joey Ortiz was also in this draft. I'm kind of just rambling. I'm gonna try to get to the point I was making here. Um, but starting with this Burns trade, I was so excited, and then the deadline came for this year too. And I remember we were coming off this 100-win season, and we didn't. I'm not gonna lie, we didn't really do much this year. Like it's like we just didn't make many trades. This team was just kind of like vibes and fun to watch. This team was really fun to watch. I mean, you had Adley going crazy, MVP, Gunner. You had Anthony Santander and Cedric Mullins, all great guys. And then the pitching, which was like this group of guys here, and Bradish and Kramer and Gibson, um, holding it down. And then Bautista, he showed up. Cano, um, shoot, we traded for Cano, Ciano Perez, who was also on this team. But we go into 2024 and we make a lot of adjustments. We traded for Burns, we signed Kimbrel, and then later on at the trade deadline, Zach Eflin came in, Sir Anthony Dominguez came in. We made some moves in this offseason to boost us to what we could be in 2024. And it was another sweep. Both the times that we made the playoffs, we got swept first as an 100-win team and one of the best teams in baseball. Uh, came as such a surprise, came out of nowhere. And we got swept by the Rangers. You just felt like so helpless throughout it all. And then it's just like, we'll be back. We need more pitching, more experience. We're going to be better. And then we come back and we have this good pitching because I might be wrong. I think the Royals only scored 3 runs in the series, 1-0 and 2-1. It just sucked. Like it was devastating. But I was like, we will be back. We are young. We have so much in the system still. 2025 rolls around and we beat the Blue Jays on opening day. And we just suck from there. Like we fall to 15 and 32 and Brandon Hyde was fired in the middle of the National Series. We had some embarrassing losses. The Yankees and the Reds. it was not fun to watch. And you can kind of tell that like all the work that was building up for like our young core was finally here. Like there's no more excuses, you know. Heston is here, Beavers is here. Basayo made his MLB debut this year, but like it was kind of too little, too late. Holiday, Henderson, we drafted Holiday, who I missed. Rutschman, Mayo, they're all here. There's no more excuses, man. Hauser, Westberg, they're all up here. They're all playing. This was supposed to be our peak year, and we fired our manager midway through. And I remember I've watched this team a lot, and I was more of a Michael Eyes hater than a Brandon Hyde hater. But when it got to this point where he was like this bad, I was like, okay, I just need change, man. Like this team's abysmal. I can't watch this team anymore play. We need something here. And I remember just the day they fired him, I was like, oh shit, there's the change I guess I was looking for. Um, and then we were still awful. Our only bright spot was Trevor Rogers. And then, God's sakes, Harley Morton, Tomiyuko Sagano. And yes, he brought back, real Orioles fans know he brought back Kyle Gibson. And God, he was awful. He played 30 field output sport. I mean, this year was just like miserable. The bullpen, I mean, Bautista got hurt and is still hurt. Our closer was just anybody, I'm not gonna lie, just anybody we threw out there. Um, Grayson Rodriguez was also injured, and we traded him this offseason. Our best player in terms of WAR was Ramon Laureano, not counting Gunnar Henderson, who we traded to the Padres. I believe we also traded O'Hearn to the Padres. We dealt Arias to my Mountcastle's still on the team though, which is another mistake of Mr. Elias. He just refuses to trade prospects. Except he did trade prospects for Trevor Rogers. And he ended up trading Trevor Rogers for Kyle Stowers. Yeah, Kyle Stowers went insane numbers in Miami, and Miami were good this year. And we just weren't. Now, respect to Trevor Rogers, he was incredible this year. He received Cy Young votes. He was literally untouchable. But man, now we paid like so much for Morton and Sagano. Like we finally paid money, but we were idiots with it. And then Sagano got good. We traded him, and it's just like so awful. Watch this team play. For those of you who care about the Lakers, I'm sorry. I didn't expect me to take this long to talk about Baltimore Orioles, but I'll get into the Lakers very soon enough. I'm gonna talk about a lot more. I didn't have a script. I didn't have a plan. I'm just kind of ranting. We brought in Tony and he tried his best, but this team's just so bad. We finished last in the division. Michael Elias kept the job though, which segues me in to 2026. Brought in manager Craig Alvarez. I am quite fond of Craig Alvarez for now. He's made some mistakes. He's not. I expected a lot better of him, but there's only so much he can do with like some of the guys. Like Brandon Young is our best pitcher. Brandon Young is our best pitcher. Like that's nobody even knows who this is outside of Orioles. I barely know who he is, and that's because I kind of just stopped watching this team. This they just are like such a letdown. to watch day in, day out. It's just not worth my time anymore. It just wasn't worth my time anymore to keep watching this team. He brought in Lays Alexander. I mean, sure. We did bring in Pete Alonso, which got my hopes up. But even then, like, there still wasn't much hope to begin with in this team. Pete Alonso was a good addition, so was Taylor Ward. But there's only so far you could take this team when there's just like no hope in this team. They're not the most exciting to watch. It just blew one of these games against the Nationals. They were like winning and they screwed it up. Trevor Rogers is back on there. I mean, we brought in Chris Bassett. He got injured. This team is just not at all what I expected them to be 2 years ago, man. And it hurts. And they say we're going to be buyers at the deadline. And you know what? I want that. I don't care. I've had enough of this team being miserable. They suck. I really just had enough of it, and I want us to like try something, man. But we just keep sucking usually. And Mike Elias is just gonna stay on as GM. I had a lot of hope for this team, and Mike Elias just ran it into the ground. It's really unfortunate. And if anything sums up Mike Elias's tenure, it's this: when he was unwilling to spend despite new owner David Rubenstein wanting him to, because he thinks he's the next fucking Billy Bean when he's just some dumb dude who can't put together a competent roster. And I mean, you can like read this yourself. I won't go too far into it, but I mean, he made the Burns moves, but he just wouldn't spend any money until, I mean, Pete Alonso. And then he spent double digits on Charlie Morton. And it's just, they just, like, they're practically unwatchable. And I don't think I plan on watching much Orioles baseball unless I can feel hope to watch. Like, I genuinely watched more of this team when they were in the dumps in 2021 and 2020, and Cedric Mullins was putting up 30 seasons. John Means, his no hitter in Seattle. I would rather watch this team play because they didn't disappoint me. I would rather watch them play, but it's just so disappointing that what they've become today under Mike Elias. And I can't stand Mike Elias. And if he's not gone by next season, I won't watch any Orioles baseball. Really, next season, I'll probably only seen like 30 total innings of Orioles baseball this season, and you could call me a fake fan, and I honestly wouldn't even really refute much of it. But I mean, you can't not feel the same way about this team. They just suck. Like, I love baseball. I play baseball. It's the sport I've played my whole life. I've watched the Orioles my whole life, but it's just no fun watching this team and devoting my time into them. So I just don't really. Um, I really want Mike Elias out from the Orioles organization. He's had a lot of time. He's had basically too much time, and there's still just nothing as a franchise. But that's it for baseball. For all y'all who came to hear me talk about Rob Pelinka and the Lakers, which is a lot more relevant today, I got a bunch of stuff for you. I got a bunch more stuff for you. That's what this video was originally made for. And I will probably collect my thoughts on that and then start my rants on Rob Pelinka and the Lakers organization. So I think this is the best place to start with Rob Pelinka. The Luka Doncic trade, probably the worst trade in like the history of sports. It was so bad. I actually thought that the Lakers traded LeBron James in this trade as well at first. And I'm not even kidding. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing at first when I saw this deal. Um, and then I looked more into it. Like I genuinely believe in the idea, like conspiracy theories that like Dallas were like trying to mess their own franchise up because it was just that bad of a deal. And then I was like, okay, they have LeBron, they have Luca, they have Austin Reeves, who wasn't kind of what he was this year back then. But I was like, I'm gonna start watching them, you know? What's the worst that could happen? And I watched a little bit, and this is what could happen. Rudy Gobert dominates this team in the playoffs, and we lose as a 3 seed to the 6 seeded Timberwolves. It was like a real bullet to swallow to watch this team of Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and such a solid roster. I mean, I could have seen this coming, you know. They had Rudy Gobert. I mean, LeBron probably led this team in rebounds. I mean, well, Anthony Davis wasn't on the team. Yeah, I mean, LeBron, Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, if I remember correctly, was mostly the one guarding Rudy Gobert for that playoff series. And I was like, I mean, good luck to him, but it's just not who you want on him. This team was not ready for anything this year as of like when they made this playoff run. They just weren't cut out for it. Which sucks because they were such a good team. And then they had Luka, who didn't play too many games for the team. He was so good. And what I saw of him, like, I'm a really big Luka fan. He's probably one of my favorite NBA players. The Lakers had my three favorite NBA players: LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and Luka Doncic. All players I love. And then I had so much hope for this season. They made moves like signing Marcus Smart, who was a great defensive guard and was great with the Lakers. They signed Marcus Smart, who was great, and I remember him being great with Boston. And I think the league kind of like pushed him down, and they finally gave him an opportunity to get back up. And the biggest move they made was sign DeAndre Ayton. I really fucking hate DeAndre Ayton, but he's better than having Rui Hachimura run the five. And I'm not gonna lie, he was cheap. He's solid. It sucks, but you just gotta accept it. Um, and we signed Jake LaRavia, who was good for the first half of the season, and then he just fucking wasn't good at all. We set ourselves up to be a better basketball team, you know? I was pretty excited. Fortunately, I live in the Eastern time zone. They're in the West. They're playing games at like 11 o'clock at night. They're ending their games at like 12 o'clock. I missed a ton of games this year. I saw only a few regular season games. Um, I just couldn't watch much Lakers basketball, unfortunately. Anyways, 2026 rolls around, which is when the season starts, and we are doing pretty good for ourselves. Then we acquire Luke Kennard, and we trade away Gabe Vincent. Lucky us. Got rid of Gabe Vincent too in the Luke Kennard deal, and we had a serious like roster built. Um, we had like some depth too, and we were actually like I genuinely had faith in this team, and that sounds great. Like I know OKC was there, and I know the Spurs were there, and I was like, we probably aren't going to beat any of these teams. But I was like, God damn it, this is a fun team. Like this is a fun ass team. And I mean, it was. We made it to the playoffs and we were a 4 seed in a pretty loaded Western Conference. And I was like, the champions are going to come out of the West. And we had the Rockets and Reeves was out and Luca were out. And I was like, this is LeBron's time to shine. And LeBron shined indeed. LeBron showed why he is still great at basketball, still doing it at 41 years old, why he is still absolutely insane at the game and is the best basketball player of all time. And he took this team to the series when, yes, Austin Reeves did come back. And yes, the Lakers actually played pretty solid around him, including Leonard, who had a really good series, and DeAndre got a really good series too, I guess. Four, we got stomped out by the Thunder. It's the Thunder. Like, it's really damn hard to beat the Thunder. They just look better than us in every single way. I mean, they had dudes coming off the bench, like Jared McCain was such an annoying dude in that series. Um, like they just have like a dude come off the bench, and then he just dropped 20, and we just couldn't do anything about it. And we couldn't do anything on offense or defense. They just shoot over us and do whatever they wanted. Even more demoralized. This is, well, technically it's midnight, so it's the day after. But Shams Charania broke the news. LeBron James will continue his NBA career and inform the Lakers that the franchise can do without him because he will play somewhere else. I wasn't that mad in the moment, and I'm still not that mad. And y'all can hate on this take. I don't I don't like Rob Pelinka. I don't hate him either. I don't think he's terrible though. Like JJ Redick is a fine coach. That coaching hire, I thought it was dumb in the moment, but I'm gonna give him some credit. It's not the worst hire. And LeBron is still an amazing player. And like I wish we could keep him. But like I was like I didn't fully process to me until now, like around 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And I'm like, oh my God, we're so screwed as this free agency class is just not it. I was like, we're gonna get a center that can be like a star to pair with Luca, like get him a good big. I mean, Aiton did opt into his player option for only 8 million, which isn't bad. He wasn't, as much as I don't like him and like we could do better, he was fine last year. And he's cheap and he's actually like a five, which is what this team needs. But like then you look around and you're like, I mean, I would love to have Walker Kessler on this team, but he might be out of the range. And then what is this? Sandro Mukashvili and Quentin Grimes. Like all the optimism in this team is gone. And yes, we still have Luka Doncic. And yes, we do have Austin Reeves, who we threw a max at, which feel me here. I was fine with too. I was actually pretty happy. I love Austin Reeves, man. I think he's amazing. Was a max a little too much? Yeah. I don't care. He's Austin freaking Reeves. Okay. And I mean, we'll obviously have Luka Doncic. And then we went and lost Kennard, who was like a great shooter, one of the best shooters in the NBA. Like that all kind of just ties into like where this team is headed next year. Like I I think Hachimura is gone too. Because they're already talking about replacing him. Walker Kessler's apparently landed in LA. I think I saw they're in negotiations with him. Maybe he's talking about the Clippers stuff, but it's just like so unfortunate too. Like I love LeBron. Like I wish he could stay on this team, but he'll be gone. See where he goes. Maybe Cleveland, maybe Golden State. But I don't even know, man. Like, so even then, like Mike Elias and Rob Pelinka are both like kings of just missing opportunities. Like Mike Elias could have built an insane roster if he was willing to go all in and spend money and like try to win and not just like be terrified, like be preparing for the future. When he wins 100 games and Rob Pelinka is just like the same. He doesn't really know how to build the best roster for the team. Like I'm not a ball knower like that. Okay, you can criticize my takes. That is fair game, but he just doesn't like. It just feels like he's not building the best roster he can for a player like Luka Doncic, who is a top five player in the NBA. And I get you have the Thunder. I get you have the Spurs. I get you have the Knicks or whatever. Sports is a pain in the ass, and I can't do anything about it. I mean, I'm just a fan, I guess. But let me know if y'all found this entertaining. But I'm just looking at this. What do y'all think LeBron will be? Let me know in the comments. I'd say most people say Golden State. I'm gonna throw in a sleeper pick. Miami. Is that crazy? Is that crazy to say? I don't know. I'm just saying stuff. But if y'all enjoyed this, let me know. I had a pretty fun time recording this, despite it being a little chaotic. I'm gonna level with you. The FM content is drying up. My motivation's kind of dead to make that. I might come out with some new stuff. Like a new episode's probably gonna be on the way this week, but I'm not the most motivated to make FM content right now. Thank y'all for watching this episode. Just letting me rant about sports. It's probably mad boring, but I mean, thank y'all for watching. I'll see you on the next one.